We have 7 main components to our patient gowns. This is one back piece. This is the other back piece. That's the front piece right here. These are the 2 sleeves. And these are the 2 rib knit cuffs.
So what we're going to do in this step is we're going to hem the edge of the material that will be the finished edge of the gown. The back panels will need to have the sides and the bottoms hemmed, and then the front panel will have just the bottom part hemmed. What we've got here is a hemming jig. This is a 3/8 inch jig. You can also use like a 10mm jig, but I would get some scrap and practice on that first. What you want to do is roll the material into the jig so that it folds over on itself, basically folded twice, and practice on that before you get started. But we get it started that way, run a little bit. The easiest way to do this is to have your left hand pushing down on the material, your right hand lifting up on the edge of the material so that the material wraps around into the jig, so that it forces itself through properly. If you get too much material in the jig, you'll see that there's a fold in there. That means there's too much in there. If it gets thin like this, you don't have enough material in the jig. But if you keep it just right, then you'll allow the material to fold around on itself. So this is the front piece of the gown. We're going to hem just the bottom of it. All the other sides will be included in another part of the process, but this will be the finished edge of the gown. As you're pushing the material through, you want to make sure that the material is fairly square with the jig so that it doesn't bunch up and create kind of a crooked part in the material. So that's the bottom, hemming the bottom of the front panel. So this is going to be the right panel. This will be the top. We're going to hem the side and then the bottom. So we'll turn that over and hem that from the back side. We're going to start from the top of the panel and work towards the bottom. So we're going to you'll want to lock stitch at the beginning and end of each of your stitches. Now we're going to hem the bottom. You can either, by starting at the bottom, you can either work it into the jig this way, or what I find easier is to just fold over the material on itself twice. You want to do that thickness as whatever the thickness of your jig is, approximately. Remember to lock stitch at the beginning and at the end. Alright, and that's a completed right panel. Alright, so this is the left panel. Now with the left panel, as we turn that over, the easiest way to go about this is to actually start at the bottom, and we're going to hem the bottom of the panel first. Lock stitching at the front and the end. And then we'll start from the bottom and then work our way to the top on the inside. And that's hemming the left panel.
After the hemming is done, you grab your panel, face it sideways on your serger. Good side facing up, so you know the hem will be on the bottom. Take your panel, face down, good side to good side, so that the hem is faced towards you. And you line it up with the curve of the sleeve. You line the curve up, and line the top of it. You're going to surge straight across the top, removing as little of the fabric as you can. Straight line. Trim your threads at the end. Do the same with the other side. Grab your panel. Match the curves up. You'll know it's right because the two hems will meet up in the middle, right here. Afterwards, slicing the sleeve, check the material, make sure it's all locked down, check your surge. That completes the shoulder process.
Man, I noticed that you have these denim patches on the table. What is the purpose of the denim patches on the table?
The denim patches are here for slip resistance. Some of the material is kind of slippery and it tends to slide a lot, and it stops it from being able to move on you while you're surging. Attaching the sleeves. You attach your sleeves, you're going to spread your panel out, good side facing up, with the sleeves extended in front of you. You're going to attach the sleeves to the inside curve, good side facing up. What you do is you take your sleeve and you put them good side to good side and start in this top corner. Butt the edge of the corner up to the edge of the curve of the sleeve. You want the curve of the sleeve facing this way, the big side of the sleeve going towards the curve of the panel, so it's kind of like offset. You start that surge, take the bottom of the panel and straighten it out, and I'm going to ride this curve all the way around. So as I'm surging, I slowly just lay it out and continue on around the corner, removing as little as material as possible. You get close to the end of the panel, about 4 to 6 inches, stop and butt your edges up. Yeah, that completes surge. When you finish, you should check it good side to good side. Check your surge. Complete the product will look something like this. one sleeve attachment. Okay, so this next step here, after we already have the shoulders and the sleeves attached, we're now going to close the side up on both sides of the gown. How we do this is we grab the sleeve. You can see that this is the good side. That's the inside. What we're going to do is we're going to grab the sleeve, connect it good side to good side. You'll be able to see the surge. Now while you're still holding on to that part, you want to go down here to the armpit. Line that up like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go down to the bottom of the gown and grab the hem and line those two up like so. Now we can lay it up on the table. You're going to want to grab a hold of these two hems, place it in the serger, and as you serge, you're just looking to do a dusting, just a slight dusting. You're not taking off a bunch of material. Get it in about 6 inches or so. Come back to your armpit. And as you have it lined up, you're just putting a little bit of tension on it, not too much, just enough to where it's not loose. Then begin to surge. As you just continue to take off just a dusting, not much. As you get up to the armpit, you want to just maintain holding that in place as you slowly go through it. After you get through it, you're going to come to the end, which would be the end of the sleeve. Line that up and continue surging towards the end. I like to look at both sides just to make sure that everything's attached.
Is there a reason why when you trim your threads, you leave a small tail on the end?
Yeah, we leave a slight little thread there. That way it doesn't work itself out in the end of the rest of the process. That maintains that it holds together solid.
Okay, after closing the gown, the next step would be to mark for the tie strap. So from the collar end of the gown, we put it at the 0 mark, and then we mark it at the 26-inch mark for the tie strap. Then we turn the gown around to the other collar edge, and from the 26-inch mark, we make the mark for the tie strap on the other side.
In this particular process, we're going to be attaching a collar and a tag using a bias material. The first step is to make a 16-inch tail.
Then you'll stick the right side of the gown into the machine. Then you'll fold the tag 1/4 inch and then lay it face down under the right side of the material. Then you'll just follow the curve of the collar until you get to the end. Then when you get to the end, you'll run another 16-inch tail to the measurement that you put down. Then you'll cut it.
The first thing you want to do when you get your gown is you have to tack both of these straps so it doesn't come undone on the bottom. I always tack both of mine first to give me a head start. The second process you want to do is you find your mark on the side of the gown, which should already be there, which shows you where the string goes. What I do is I lay the fabric down on the metal, I line it up with the tacker, and I simply place the string in there and I tack it. I always tack it twice just in case they have to wash it so the string doesn't come undone. Then I turn it over and I have to tack the bottom. The reason why you have to tack the bottom is because both of these gowns are serged together and you have to lock in the serge so the gown does not come apart. The tack is very important because it holds the gown in place. All you have to do is tack it once on the bottom, lock it in on each side of the gown so they're locked together. Then you go to the next one and you repeat the process all over again. Then you rotate your gown, find your mark on the other side, lay your gown down, find your mark, line it up with the tacker, put your string in, and tack it. Remember, always to tack it twice, just in case they have to wash these and reuse them.
I'm attaching the cuff. First thing is I grab my gown and I make sure it's turned outside so that the seam is on the inside. I take my cuff material, fold it in. Make sure it's even on both sides. Put it over my hand, put it over my wrist. Grab at the seam, wind it up so it's around my hand. Pull this cuff over, keep my hands inside so that I can stretch it. If you don't stretch it, the material will bunch up and it's not going to be effective. Lift my foot, make sure everything's underneath. Start serging, keep enough tension on there just to make sure that all the material is going to stay in place. Keep serging, adjust as I need to, make sure I don't get any bunch ups in the material. Don't want to pull it because I don't want to break a needle. Keep going, using my hand, letting it walk on its own. This hand's just letting it slide. Keep going all the way. You don't want to cut off too much. Make sure this is out of the way. Get through all the way. Okay. Snip off the material. Check for any holes. No holes. Good to go. And repeat the same process on the other side.